हरे कृष्ण।
हरि बोल। जय विष्णुपाद परमहंस परिव्रजा चक्राचार्य अष्टोत्तर श्री श्रीमद् दिव्यांगेश श्री भक्ति वेदांत स्वामी श्रील प्रभुपाद की जय।
जय।
अनंत कोटि वैष्णव वृंद की जय।
जय।
नामाचार्य श्री हरिदास ठाकुर की जय।
जय।
प्रेम से कहो श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद जय अद्वैत गदाधर शिवासादि गौर भक्त वृंद की जय।
जय।
श्री श्री राधा कृष्ण गोप गोपीनाथ श्यामा कुंड राधा कुंड गिरि गोवर्धन की जय।
जय।
मथुरापुरी धाम की जय।
जय।
वृंदावन धाम की जय।
जय।
गंगा माई जमुना माई की जय।
जय।
तुलसी देवी भक्ति देवी की जय।
जय।
श्याम वेद भक्त वृंद की जय।
जय।
गौर प्रेमानंदे।
हरि हरि बोल।
All glories to assembled devotees.
हरे कृष्णा।
All glories to assembled devotees.
हरे कृष्णा।
All glories to assembled devotees.
हरे कृष्णा।
All glories, all glories, all glories to Sri Guru and Sri Gauranga.
हरि हरि बोल।
विष्णुपादाय कृष्ण कृष्णाय भूतले श्रीमती भक्तिवेदांत स्वामी नित्य नामिने नमस्ते सरस्वती देवी गौरवाणी प्रचारे विशेष शून्यवादी पश्यते देशताने। ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय।
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 So today we are reading Canto 1, Chapter 9, entitled The Passing Away of Bhishmadev, and text number 27. Narayanam namaskrityam naram chaiva narottamam devim saraswatim vyasam tato jaya mudiraye nashta prayeshu abhadreshu nityam bhagavata sevaya bhagavati uttama shloke bhaktir bhavati naistuki. So I will recite slok 3 times and then you can recite. दान धर्मान राज धर्मान मोक्ष धर्मान विभागशः स्त्री धर्मान भगवत धर्मान समास व्यास योगतः दान धर्मान राज धर्मान मोक्ष धर्मान विभागशः स्त्री धर्मान भगवत धर्मान समास व्यास योगतः दान धर्मान राज धर्मान मोक्ष धर्मान विभागशः स्त्री धर्मान भगवत धर्मान समास व्यास योगतः. Please recite.
Hare Krishna. Dana Dharman Raja Dharman Moksha Dharman Vibhagasha Shriya Dharman Bhagavad Dharman Samasa Vyasa Yogataha. Hare Krishna, thank you.
हरे कृष्णा।
Hare Krishna. Dana dharman, raja dharman, moksha dharman, vibhagashah, Sri dharman, bhagavad dharman, samasa vyasa yogatah.
हरे कृष्ण।
हरे कृष्णा।
दान धर्मम राज धर्मम मोक्ष धर्मम विभागश श्री धर्मम भगवत धर्मम समाशा भयशा जगतः। हरे कृष्ण।
हरे
हरे कृष्ण। हरे कृष्ण। दान धर्मान राज धर्मान मोक्ष धर्मान विभागशः स्त्री धर्मान भगवद धर्मान समास व्यास योगतः। हरे कृष्ण।
हरे कृष्ण।
दान धर्मान राज धर्मान मोक्ष धर्मान विभागशः स्त्री धर्मान भागवत धर्मान समास व्यास योगता। हरे कृष्ण।
हरे कृष्ण। Anyone else would like to say?
1 second, she is coming. She wants to read.
Shyamagari Mataji.
दान धर्मान राजधर्मान मोक्ष धर्मान विभागशः स्त्री धर्मान भगवत धर्मान समासव्यास योगता.
Hare Krishna. Sorry for Vaikuta. Dana dharman, raja dharman, moksha dharman, vibhagasa, Stri dharman, bhagavad dharman, samasavasa yogataha.
दान धर्मान राज धर्मान मोक्ष धर्मान भागशः स्त्री धर्मान भगवत धर्मान समासख्या सयोगतः. अंते
Hare Krishna. Or anyone else would like to tell? Okay, so let's start. So I'll decide. दान धर्मान राज धर्मान मोक्ष धर्मान विभागशः स्त्री धर्मान भगवत धर्मान समास व्यास योगता. Synonyms: दान धर्मान, the acts of charity; raj dharman, pragmatic activities of the kings; moksha dharman, the acts for salvation; vibhagasha, by divisions; stri dharman, duties of women; bhagavad dharman, the acts of the devotees; samas, generally; vyas, explicitly; yogata, by means of. Translation and purport by His Divine Grace Abhay Charnarin Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada. Jai Srila Prabhupada. He then explained by divisions, acts of charity, the pragmatic activities of a king, and activities for salvation. Then he described the duties of women and devotees both briefly and extensively. Namo Vishnupadaya Krishna Prasthaya Bhutale Srimate Bhaktivedanta Swaminiti Namne Namaste Saraswate Deve Gauravani Prachane Nirvishesha Shunnavadi Paschatya Deshatarne Om Ajnanati Miradasya Jnananjana Shalakaya Chakshurumritam Yena Tasmai Guruve Namah Shri Chaitanya Manovishtam Sthapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kada Mahyam Dadati Swapadanti Vandeham Shri Guru Shri Utapadikamlam Shri Guru Vaishnamsha Shri Rupam Sagrajatam Sahagana Raghunathanvitam Tam Sajam साद्वैतम सावधूतम परिजन सहितम कृष्ण चैतन्य देवम श्री राधा कृष्ण पादान सहगन ललिता श्री विशाखान्वितां सचा. हे कृष्ण करुणा सिंधु दीन बंधु जगतपते गोपेश गोपिका कांत राधा कांत नमस्ते. तप्त कांचन गौरांगी राधे वृंदावनेश्वरी वृषभानुसुते देवी प्रणमामि हरिप्रिय. वांछा कल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपा सिंधु देवच पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः. जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर शिवासादि गौर भक्तवृंद. हरे कृष्णा कृष्ण कृष्ण हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे. यम प्रवजन्तम अनुपेतम अपेत कृत्यम द्वैपायनो भिर्कातर अजुहाव पुत्रेति तन्मयतया तर्वोऽभिनेदुस्तं सर्वभूतहृदयं मुनिं आनतोऽस्मि यस्वानुभावम् अखिल श्रुति सारमेकम् अध्यात्मदीपम् अतितृष्णां तुमन्दम् संसारिणां करुणाय पुराणभूयं तं व्यासनमोपयामि गुरुमुनीनां नारायणं नमस्कृत्य नरं चैव नरोत्तमं देवीं सरस्वतीं व्यासं ततो जयमुदीरयेत्. शृण्वतां स्वकथा कृष्णः पुण्यश्रवणः कीर्तनः हृदन्तस्तुभद्राणि विदनोति स्वस्तं नष्टप्रायेष भद्रेषु नित्यं भागवसेव्या भगवती उत्तमा श्लोके भक्तिर्भवति नष्टकी. Hare Krishna. So today's verse we are going to discuss. So this is the teachings of Bhishma Dev to Yudhishthira Maharaj. So, because Yudhishthira Maharaj, he was a king of the world. He got the kingdom of Hastinapur. At that time, they were ruling the whole world. So here, Bhishma Dev, he actually like one of the Mahajans. I think we are discussing there are 12 Mahajans, and one of the Mahajan is like Bhishma Dev. And he is, Mahajan means who is well aware of the dharma, all types of dharma, and especially Bhagavad dharma. And whatever their teachings are, we can follow them. So here in this verse here, Bhishma Dev is explaining different types of dharmas. So here he says Dana dharma, Raja dharma, Moksha dharman, Vibhagasha, Stri dharman, Bhagavad dharman, Samasa Vyas Yogata. So there are various kinds of dharma. Various kinds of dharma. So, but in Bhagavatam, like it's mentioned that there are various kinds of dharma, but Savi Punsam Paro Dharmo, Yato Bhakti Adokshati, Ahituki Aprihata Yatma Suprasidati. So we'll come to that point, like what is the top of dharma. But why we need dharma? Main point is that why, like this here, Bhishma Devi is explaining dharma, all type of dharma to Yudhishthira Maharaj. Here in Bhagavatam, they are not given in detail, but in Mahabharata, like they are more in detail given. But in here, just names are given. What dharmas he explained. So here, Suta Goswami is saying, he then explained by division, act of charity, pragmatic activities of the king, and activity of salvation. So he's just saying like this. Srila Prabhupada have given some description, but there are more details there in the scriptures. But why these all dharmas exist in the society? Because in our scripture it is said that ahar nidra bhay maithunam cha samanyam etat pashubhinanam dharma tesham adhiko vishesho dharme hina pashubhi samana. There are 4 common activities we have in this material world. We have 4 common activities between animals and human beings. What are there? Ahar, like eating activity. Ahar, nidra means sleeping. Bhaya means fear. Mathunam means sexual activities, mating activities. So Srila Prabhupada says that eating, sleeping, mating, and defending. Defending is basically the fearful activity. When somebody gets fear, they want to defend that. So eating, sleeping, mating, and defending, they are 4 common activities between animal and human being. So if we are like these common activity, we can see that all animals, they also does that. They have some way of eating, they have some way of sleeping, they have some way of mating, and some way of defending, right? If you can open any Discovery Channel or any Animal Planet channel or whatever, like, they are people who actually going behind like these animals, and they're trying to find it out, how they live, what they do, how they eat, how they sleep, how they mate, how they create. You will see these 4 common activities. And in human society also, these are 4 common activities. But if human being is only concerned about these 4 activities, then he's no better than animal. He's no better than animal. Dharma tesham adhiko vishesho dharme hina pashubhi samana. Means if there is no dharma means your prescribed duties. Srila Prabhupada translate dharma as prescribed duties, not as a religion. Religion is different thing. Like what it's basically based on the body. Somebody is taking birth in a Christian family, by default become Christian. Somebody is taking birth in a Hindu family, by becoming Hindu, or Muslim family becoming Muslim. That's religion is different. That's based on your faith. You can change religion, but dharma is basically you can't change. That is which sustain the particular object. So dharma is basically like, it is there from right from the beginning. It's not that somebody created dharma now, like, okay, this is dharma. Generally we see, okay, Christianity came during this time, Islam came this time, or Buddhist philosophy came this time, or Jainism came this time. All these kind of things, the philosophies are coming at different times, but they are not dharma. They are just philosophies and religion. But dharma is which is basically always with that object, which sustain that object. So for human being, there are different kind of dharmas are there, so which are mentioned here. Because if human being, they are not practicing dharma, they're no better than any animal. Our scripture says like dharma tesham adhiko vishesho. dharme hina pashubhi samana. A person without dharma, he is just an animal. One time, some people came to Srila Prabhupada and they said, like, can we become a Vaishnava? Srila Prabhupada said, first you become a human. Because right now, the people are living in such a way that they are eating, sleeping, mating, and defending in unrestricted way. There is no proper procedure. Even eating, sleeping, mating, and defending, there is a way to do it. In our scriptures, it is mentioned that when to eat, how to eat, what to eat. All those kind of are defined there. But people who are doing unrestrictedly, especially like today's society, nobody want restriction. Nobody want restriction. They just want to do whatever they want to do. Right? They say like, well, we are free to eat. We are free people. We are independent. We can eat whatever we want, whatever you like, and wherever we want to associate, we can do that. Wherever you want to sleep, you can sleep there. So there are like nobody want to follow rules and regulations. And because if they don't follow, then they are no better than animal. So that dharma which basically distinguish between animal and human being. When a human being practice dharma, then they are coming to category of human being. So here, because Yudhishthira Maharaj, he is king of the world, he should know the dharma of all the people in his kingdom, because he has to make judgments. If something goes wrong in the society, so who is going to judge? In today's society, we have like democratic governments, or maybe like a communist government, or some other form of government. But they are basically, they have constitution, and then they are judges. So what is the role of judges? If there is some problem in society, the judges, they read the constitution, and on that basis they decide whether this particular act is a crime or it is not a crime. So they are the judge. But judge himself, in this today's society, they are not practicing dharma. So they themselves don't know what the real dharma is. They are basically just following what is written in constitution, which is also written by a human being. Srila Prabhupada mentioned in the introduction of Sri Ishopanishad that human societies have 4 defects. 4 defects, like commit mistakes, and we have like imperfect senses, to be illusion, commit mistake, and cheating propensity. When a human being have those kind of 4 defects, how we can expect that their system will be perfect? So they actually their judgment is based on the codes or the constitution, which is created by the human being only, which is a defective piece. So that judgment is never a correct one. But the activities which are mentioned, the dharmas which are mentioned in Shastra directly coming from the Lord Narayan. So here, like Bhishma Devi is explaining all these different dharmas, that how that dharma should be followed. So Yudhishthira Maharaj here, because he came to Bhishma Devi to learn, even though Yudhishthira Maharaj knows he is himself Dharmaraj. Yudhishthira Maharaj is Dharmaraj only. He's Yamraj, came in the he's the son of Yamraj, because Vidura was there, and then Yudhishthira Maharaj is there, who is I would say like incarnation of Yamraj. So he himself Dharmaraj, but he is also learning from Bhishma Dev, because he is Mahajan. Bhishma Dev is Mahajan. He knows the Dharma very well. So there are like 5 things mentioned here, which is Dana Dharman, Raja Dharman, Moksha Dharman. So 3 things: Dan, Raja, Moksha Dharman. Vibhagsha is division. Then Stri Dharman. There is a special dharma. There is a special dharma for the woman class, and Bhagavad Dharma, which is basically which is the topmost dharma, which is, and this Bhagavad Dharma is given directly by Krishna. Bhagavad Dharma. So we'll discuss that, which is mentioned in Srimad Bhagavatam, Savi Punsam Paro Dharmo Yato Bhakti Radokshri. So let's read the purport what Srila Prabhupada have given some of the commentary on this one. So to give charity is one of the household main function. Charity is basically like one of the dharma for householders, especially. And he should be prepared to give charity at least 50% of his hard-earned money. This formula is Srila Prabhupada giving from the life example of Rupa Goswami, one of our like main acharya. So if you see like Rupa Goswami, we are generally like in Gaudiya Vaishnava, we are called Rupanugas. We are follower of Rupa Goswami. Rupa Goswami is a direct disciple of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu empowered him to spread this movement all over the world, and we are followers of Rupa Goswami by taking his teachings. So here Srila Prabhupada giving the formula which Rupa Goswami practiced in his own life. So Rupa Goswami has wealth before he came to Vrindavan. So he has wealth, and then he divided his wealth into three parts. 50% of his wealth he has given to Krishna conscious movement, to spread for Krishna, because ultimately everything belonged to Krishna. So Rupa Goswami gave 50% of his accumulated wealth to Krishna, and then the rest of that 50% he kept it 25% for his own self, and then 25% for his family members. But ultimately he gave up that also. He actually gave up his own self. He became like, you know, he gave everything. He didn't keep anything later. But the point is that he gave this formula to divide the wealth into three parts: 50% for the progress, for the spreading of Krishna conscious movement, and 25% for yourself, and 25% if you have family members, and take care of those family members. Right? So this is what Srila Prabhupada explaining here. A brahmachari or student should perform sacrifices. So brahmachari means a person who should live under the guidance of a guru all the time, and in the ashram of the guru, and his duty is basically to follow the orders of his spiritual master. And he should perform sacrifice means he should study Vedas, he should study scriptures. So here Prabhupada said that a brahmachari or student should perform sacrifices. A householder should give charity. This is like a brahmachari ashram, then grastha ashram. And a person in the retired life or in a renounced order, means vanaprastha or sannyas, should practice penance and austerity. So if you see, these are four divisions of the society. These are different ashramas are there. Then we have varnas, and then we have ashramas. We are talking about ashramas. So brahmachari ashram means there is no space for accumulating money or earning money. Brahmachari ashram is no earning money. Brahmachari ashram means like practicing devotional service under the guidance of Guru. In householder life, we have some permission to earn money, and that's why the number one main function of householders is to give charity. And once we come to the Vanprastha life, which is the age after 50, or in a renounced order, in sannyas, like after the Vanprastha, if somebody takes sannyas, so their only work is penance and austerity. There is no accumulation of money. There is no giving charity and all those kind of things, because they don't have money. If they will keep the money, a lot of money with them, then they will not be able to practice proper penance and austerity. They just only keep whatever is bare minimum to survive them. Especially in the renounced order, that also is not required actually. So these are the, like Srila Prabhupada said, those are the general functions of all ashramas or orders on the life on the path of self-realization. In the brahmachari life, training is sufficiently imparted so that one may understand the world as properly belong to Supreme Lord. So this is strength that everything belong to Krishna is coming in the brahmachari ashram. Everything belong to Krishna. So this is what Srila says, that one person should properly understand in the brahmachari ashram, so that he can become better householder. No one therefore can claim to be proprietor of anything in the world. This is same formula given in Upanishad. Srila Prabhupada is saying here from Upanishad, Ishopanishad, Ishavashyam idam sarvam yat kinchan jagatam jagat. So everything, whatever we see, animate or inanimate in this material world or in the spiritual world, everything belongs to Krishna. Even we belong to Krishna. So Krishna is the supreme proprietor. He is the supreme enjoyer. Therefore, so when we understand this fact that Krishna is the proprietor of everything belongs to Krishna, including myself. Therefore, Prabhupada says that in the life of householder, which is sort of license for sex enjoyment, limited. Actually, what Prabhupada is saying that sort of is not really that it is open to a sex enjoyment. It is only permitted only for begetting Krishna conscious children, not for just for merely sense gratification. So there is some relaxation is given, but for some purpose, and that the person should handle very carefully that. One must give charity for the service of the Lord. This is the main function like of householder is whatever they earn, they should give in charity. Everyone's energy is generated and borrowed from the reservoir of energy of the Lord. Because whatever we have, it actually is property of Krishna. Even our body, whatever energy we have, it is coming from Krishna only. Our body is a material body. I'm talking about myself. It's made up of Krishna says in Bhagavad Gita, Bhumi Rapanolo Vayu Kammana Buddhi Revacha Hankarityam me Bhinna Parkati Rashtadha. So this body is made up of 5 gross elements, and then we are subtle body made up of three subtle elements, and then but we are separate from that. So this energy that what we have is basically coming from the energy of the Lord. Therefore, the resultant action of Srila Prabhupada says, therefore, the resultant actions of such energy must be given to Krishna in the shape of transcendental service to the Lord for him. So whatever we are, whatever we get by using our energy, means using our body, our intelligence, our senses, all those things are basically given to us by Krishna. So whatever we are getting out of using all those things, we should use that in the service of Krishna. Pattana pushpam phalam toyam yome bhakta prachati. Bhagavad Gita Krishna says that you offer me with love and devotion. Patra pushpam phalam toyam yome bhakta prachati tadam bhaktam upratam ashnami priyatatma. If you can, you should give it. But if you cannot do that also, Krishna says, okay, yat karoshi yadashnasi yat jujosi dasiyat yat tapasati kontya tat kushmat arpanam. In the next verse, Krishna says that, yat karoshi yadashnasi yat jujosi dasiyat yat tapasati kontya tat kurushmat arpanam. Whatever you eat, whatever you do austerity, just offer to me. So this is the point here. Srila says everything should be offered to Krishna in the transcendental loving service. Means bhakti bhav, like prem bhav, like and love and devotion. Pattanam pushpam. That's the main thing. As a rivers draw water from sea through the clouds and again go to sea. This is example. Srila Prabhupada is giving analogy. So we got rain. From where we got rain? We got rain from the ocean. Ocean is a source of water. So when there is like say when there is a sun which is very hot, the sun is very hot in the Atlantic Ocean. So in the Atlantic Ocean, when there's a lot of sun, so clouds get formed. Cloud get formed in the Atlantic Ocean or Pacific Ocean, and then they come across from the southern side. They come across from the southern side, crossing either California or Texas and all. You see all the pattern in US, like all this, geography, how the whole moisture come from the south, either from the Atlantic or from Pacific, and then we see the rain everywhere. This goes all over the continent, and then we see a lot of rain. And then because of the rain, all these rivers get water. But ultimately, when the rivers get water, what they do? They ultimately go to ultimately end up in an ocean. Because rivers don't keep the water. Whatever water comes, they ultimately go to the ocean. This is the analogy Srila Prabhupada gives. So we are getting from the water is getting from ocean and ultimately is going to the ocean. Similarly, whatever we are achieving in this world. So when we come to this material world, so every one of us actually took birth from a womb of our mother, right? So when we came out from the womb of our mother, we were empty-handed. We didn't bring anything, isn't it? All we got is the body from our parents, actually, which is arranged by Krishna. It is a Krishna super arrangement, and we got body from our mother and father, and then we were empty-handed. We didn't have anything. And when we come here in the material world, we get so many things. We get food, we get clothing, we get parents, we get brother, sister, we get so many things. And then after that, when we become a little older, we get education, and then we earn money, we buy so many things for something. Who actually arranged all this for us? These all things are coming arranged by Krishna. And it's Krishna is giving everything. So when we are getting everything from Krishna, why don't we give back to Krishna? Generally, like in a society, if somebody comes and gives you a gift, right? We want to give him a return gift, isn't it? But that's one-to-one combination. But here, everything is given by Krishna. How much you can return? Until we will not, until we dedicate ourselves to Krishna, like Bali Maharaj. What Bali Maharaj did is, when Vaman Dev comes and then he asks, I want 3 steps of land, right? Very interesting pastime, right? So his Guru Maharaj told, Shukracharya told him that, oh, he's not a brahmachari, he's not a brahmana, he's Vishnu. And he took birth in the family of Aditi. And he came here to take all your wealth and give to your enemy, Indra. When Bali Maharaj came to know this, Shukracharya think that Bali will become very agitated and he will not give. But Bali said, that's fine. It's all given by him only. in the Ashwamedh Yagna, I am worshipping this Vishnu only, and he's coming to my door and begging. What else can? This is my great fortune. This is my great fortune. This same Vishnu is coming to my door and begging. If he's coming as an enemy, I will fight with him. But he's coming as a beggar, I can't do anything right now. So I'll give it. So he gave, okay, you take 3 steps of land. Even Shukracharya told him, you cannot fulfill your promise because in the 2 step, he will take everything. And you don't have, you will not have space for 3rd step. He knows that. Shukracharya, his guru, told him before that this is going to happen. But even Bali Maharaj did not move out. He said, no, I'll do it. No problem, I'll take care later. And that's what happened. Vaman Dev crossed the whole land, middle planetary system and lower planetary system in 1 step. And 2nd step, he covered the whole universe. And then he said, hey, Bali, you were saying you're going to give me 3 steps. Where is your promise? Bali said then, okay, don't worry, my Lord, you take me. My body still belongs to me. Even though it's given by you, it's still my property for the timing, temporary. So I'll give my body to you. He, Atmanivedan, he gave everything to, including himself, to the Lord. So that's what Prabhupada said, that whatever we have, actually we should give to Krishna. This is for Krishna's energy only. We are using only temporarily, but we should use only for the Krishna's service. Yeah, that's what Prabhupada says. Similarly, our energy is borrowed from Supreme Source, the Lord's energy, and it must be returned to Lord. It must be returned to Lord. This is the process. If we don't return to the Lord, then we are basically we are thieves. We are taking, but we are not giving back to the person from who is giving to us, right? So that is the perfection of our energy. This is the way we should utilize our energy. Means whatever energy we have our eyes. See, in Dhruv Maharaj prayer, Dhruv Maharaj first prayer, Dhruv Maharaj says that Lord actually entered into my body and enlivened my senses. Before that, my senses were sleeping. Means all this energy actually given to us by Krishna. And then the energy to see, the energy to hear, energy to talk. I'm talking. This is actually not I'm talking. It is Krishna's energy which is talking. My hands are moving. They're all coming from Krishna, Paramatma. Through the agency of Paramatma, it is coming to us. It is not me. Like in Bhagavad Gita says that Krishna says that we a living thing, we are living entity. We think that we are the doers, but actually we are not. It is all done by the energy of Krishna. So Lord, here Prabhupada says, the Lord, therefore, in the Bhagavad Gita 9:27 says same thing that I told, like whatever we do, whatever we undergo as penance, whatever we sacrifice, whatever we eat, and whatever we give in charity must be offered to him, the Lord. That is the way of utilizing our borrowed energy. Borrowed energy. See, we are the borrowers. you all have mortgage. Yeah? If you have houses and as long as you have mortgage, you have to pay every month from your paycheck, isn't it? Until you pay the whole thing, right? But the mortgage that we have taken from Krishna for this house where we are living, this body like a house. In this house we are living, but this mortgage we cannot pay lifelong. This means like we have to do right from the childhood to the end. We have to keep giving to Krishna because we cannot repay what Krishna has given to us. So this borrowed energy, what we have to give it back to Krishna. And when our energy is utilized in that way, our energy is purified. This is another fact. Srila Prabhupada said purified. This word is very important because if we don't use that energy in Krishna's service and we use for our own sense gratification, it's become contaminated and we'll suffer here. If we use our energy in a wrong thing, not for the purpose of not for the purpose of satisfaction of Krishna, then it will generate vikarma. And vikarma means you have to suffer. We have to suffer. We have to repeated birth in this material world, and we have to suffer for that. And we will become and we will continuously become contaminated by this like a material world. So our energy is purified from contamination of material inabilities. Thus, we become fit for our original natural life of service of Lord. If we use our energy in the service of Lord, then we'll perfectly become servant of the Lord. That is our eternal position. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu says that Jivere Sarup hoye Krishna Nityadas. Our eternal constitutional position is to become or to serve the Lord. We are not independent. We are servant of the Lord. We need to understand that fact, and accordingly we should work. That's what like Prabhupada mentioned here. Then the second one is Rajadharma, which is basically specifically very important for Yudhishthira Maharaj, because he's a king. He should. There are certain things that he needs to take care of that one in his kingdom. So Rajadharma is a great science, unlike modern diplomacy for political supremacy. This is Srila Prabhupada's style, like, because modern diplomacy for political supremacy. Here, this is what happening. If you look at the world, this is like going on. Like everyone want to become politically supreme. This Cold War and all the things are going on. The kings were trained systematically to become munificent, not merely to tax collectors. We just pay the taxes. April 15. Today is the last date actually. If you haven't filed taxes, please file. So we have to pay a lot of taxes: federal tax, state tax, local tax, this tax. If government is only collecting tax and not really helping the citizens of the country, then they are basically not really know what their dharma is. So here Prabhupada says that the king's duty is to basically be munificent, not just the tax collectors. They were trained to perform different sacrifices only for the prosperity of the subjects. Subjects here is praja. Praja means the people, because the people in the kingdom, they are all belong to the king. They are children of the king, and he should take care of them. To lead the prajas, this is this in Vedic system. Praja mentioned is the word is mentioned praja. Praja means not even human being, but animals, like mountains, rivers, and trees and everything. That's called praja. Praja does not mean only the human being. Today's society, we are just only concerned about human being. Prabhupada said there are so many slaughterhouses are there. They are killing animals like anything. They are also part of praja. They should also get protection. Cow protection is one of the main important activity that a king should manage. King should actually arrange. But here we see now today's society, there is no protection for the animals, especially cow. To lead the praja to the attainment of salvation. This is another main important duty of a king, is to lead the prajas to the attainment of salvation. Was a great duty of the Lord. Make sure that the duty of king is to that their whole society are going towards the moksha, getting the liberation from this material world. The father, the spiritual master, king are not to become irresponsible in the matter of leading their subject to the path of ultimate liberation from birth, death, disease, and old age. So here Prabhupada says the father, the head of the householder, the spiritual master, guru, and the king, they should not become irresponsible. When these primary duties are properly discharged, there is no need of government of the people by the people. This is the notion that government of the people by the people. This is like democracy. Prabhupada says that this is there's no need for that. When everybody is ready for performing their duty nicely, what is the need of government? This kind of government. In modern days, people in general occupy administration by strength of manipulated votes. This is a democratic way. You can see that how the things are going on everywhere in the world in the name of democracy. They are cheating people by getting votes, by buying the votes and all. But they are never trained in primary duty of the king, and that is also not possible for everyone. Under the circumstances, the untrained administrator play havoc to make the subject happy in all respect. On the other hand, untrained, I think this should be trained actually. Anyway, on the other hand, these untrained administrators gradually becomes rogue and thieves and increase the taxation to finance a top-heavy administration that is useless for all purposes. The lobbying, there's some political things. Actually, the qualified brahmanas are meant to give direction to the kings for proper administration in terms of scriptures like Manu Samhita and Dharma Shastra of Parashara. So For dharma shastras, like we have different types of shastras, and one of the shastras called dharma shastra, like how to follow proper duties and your jobs and roles and responsibility. They are mentioned in mostly Manu Samhita and the Parashara Samhita of the scriptures. Manu Samhita is very popular in that. Like there are many kind of dharmas are mentioned for the whole human society. A typical king is the ideal of the people in general, and if the king is pious, religious, chivalrous, and munificent, the citizens generally follow him. Such a king is not a lazy, sensuous person, living at the cost of the subject, but alert always to kill thieves and dacoits. The pious kings were not merciful to dacoits and thieves in the name of nonsensical ahimsa, non-violence. So here Prabhupada says that sometime like we say, oh, we should basically become generous. We should not punish some people because like punishing is like a very violent activity. Yeah. But here Prabhupada says this ahimsa is nonsensical. Why? Because if somebody is doing some crime and you are not really stopping that crime and you are not punishing them, that is not dharma. Like in Bhagavad Gita also, like we see there is in the second chapter there discussion when Arjuna try say like better than fighting, I should give the fight and start begging. At that time Krishna says no, like you should fight, and then violence is necessary to punish the thieves and rogues, especially the Kauravas who are basically like not following proper dharma, so they should be punished. The thieves and dacoits were punished in an exemplary way so that the future no one would dare commit such nuisance in the organized form. So these punishments should be like very exemplary. Otherwise, other people, so that in the future people should not commit those kind of crimes. Such thieves and dacoits were never meant for administration as they are now. Okay. The taxation law was simple. There was no force, no encroachment. The king had a right to make 1/4 of the production made by the subject. The king had a right to claim 1/4 of one's allotted wealth. 25% tax. So anyway, like we are government is now depend upon person to person how much taxes they are taking. One would never grudge parting it with it because due to the pious king and religious harmony, there was enough natural wealth, namely grains, fruits, flowers, silk, cotton, milk, jewels, minerals, etc. And therefore, no one was materially unhappy. So this is like in a perfect society, Ram Raj. What we call when Yudhishthira was basically ruling the world, it was like a Ram Raj, like same like Ram Raj. Actually, Lord Ram and Yudhishthira Maharaj kingdom was such a that no one was unhappy. Everyone was perfectly happy. The citizens were rich in agriculture, animal husbandry, and therefore they had enough grains, fruits, milk without any artificial need of soaps and toilets, cinemas and baths. Sheila was saying there's no need of soaps and toilets and cinemas and baths. But in today's society, these are become like the norms of the society. Without that, people cannot live it. But that's a separate discussion. Next, the last paragraph, I'll just take it because there's one more paragraph. The king had to see that the reserved energy of humanity was properly utilized. Human energy is meant not exactly for fulfilling animal propensity that we discuss, but for self-realization. The whole government was specifically designed to fulfill this particular purpose. As such, king has to select properly the cabinet ministers, but not on the strength of voting background. See, in today's society, what happens is like when there's a government, so somebody become president, somebody become prime minister, and then they depend upon whoever is favorable, they select their ministers, right? But in universal government, if you see we have a government in the universe also, where Lord Brahma is the main, and then Lord Indra is in charge. In there is no democracy. There is no election. There is only selection. The qualified people, they will become the king. Like Indra, there is a specific qualification for Indra to take, for a person to take Indra's post, the demigod post, the sage's post, all these things. Like Krishna arranged all these things. But in human society, these are basically all like they become minister, they become like prime minister and president and all just by some unfair means. The ministers, military commander, and even the ordinary soldiers were all selected by personal qualification. The king had to supervise them properly before they were appointed to their respective posts. The king was especially vigilant to see the tapasvis or persons who sacrificed everything for disseminating spiritual knowledge were never disregarded. The king knew well that the Supreme Personality of Godhead never tolerates any insult to these unalloyed devotees. So this is in italics, like in BBT they put it because it's very important. The king should know well that the devotees, especially Vaishnavas, should not should not be insulted by anyone. They should be given proper protection. These are our devotees. Such tapasvis were trusted leaders even of the rogues and thieves who were never disobey the orders of tapasvis. But nowadays it's very challenging to find this kind of thing. But this is a Vedic system actually. The kings would give special protection to illiterates, the helpless, the widows of the state. Defense measures were arranged previously, but previous to any attack of the enemies. The taxing process was easy and it was not meant for squandering, but was for strengthening the reserve fund. The soldiers were recruited from all parts of the world and they were trained for special duties. As far as salvation is concerned, one has to conquer the principle of lust, anger, unlawful desires, avarice, and bewilderment. To get freedom from anger, one should learn how to forgive. So this is a basic principle. If you want to get free from anger, practice forgiveness. Practice forgiveness. If you cannot forgive, it is very difficult to give up anger. It is going to keep coming. So like shama, like we have to practice forgiveness. Like if somebody is doing something bad to us, immediately people will become angry, right? But if you're ready to forgive, then anger will subside. To be free from unlawful desire, one should not make plans. This is another very, see, this purport have a lot of information. I don't know if you can keep talking, like it can go for long. But here, what Prabhupada says that to be free from unlawful desire, one should not make plans. How this particular subject is like we all make plans. It's like we make from morning onward when we start doing our japa, we start making plans. What I'm going to do today, what I'm going to do tomorrow, what I'm going to do next. We are making plans. We are like having our retirement money. We have like retirement house where we are going to go for vacation. All those things are basically we are planning. And Srila Prabhupada said because we plan, that's why we got unlawful desire, which is not supposed to be. I think you got the point what Prabhupada said there. This is very, very important. You know, we should depend upon Krishna. The point is that if we depend upon Krishna every day, then we don't need to get all wrong desire. Actually, in one of the scriptures mentioned that the sannyasis, you know how they used to live their life in the Vedic system. So in the morning when they wake up, when they wake up, whichever direction they are looking, they start walking their direction. They don't decide whether I have to go east, west, north, or south. If they woke up and then they start looking at south, they start walking south. And then again night they will sleep, and then they see whichever direction they woke up, they go there. Means point is that not attachment, not making plans where to go, what to do. Completely surrender to Krishna. Completely surrender to Krishna. Rupa Goswami and Sanatan Goswami, when they were in Vrindavan, they were sleeping in the night only for 2 hours, maybe one and a half hour, 2 hour maximum, maybe 2.5 hours, not more than that. And that too also one tree, one night. If they are sleeping under one tree one night, then next night they will go to some other tree. Even in that tree, they will not stay. To get attachment or to get any kind of desire, all those kind of things, you know. So this the life that they practice is, for me, like I can't even imagine, you know. I have to see like, okay, my bed should be nice, this thing should be nice, there is AC going on, if there's a hot, if there's a winter, there should like heat is going on. We see so many things, right? But we make all these plans, you know. But actually the devotees, they're like what Prabhupada say that if you want to get rid of unlawful desires, don't make plans. Everyone can see this is a personal instruction to everyone. They depend upon their spiritual realization. They can do that, you know. By spiritual culture, one is able to conquer sleep. This is another thing, you know. If you practice properly the Krishna conscious culture, we can control sleep. Control sleep means like sleep is like ignorance. Like, you know, we see we see Arjuna is a Gudakesha. He's the he's a controller of the sleep. He won the sleep. Why? Because he won the ignorance. So even this this regular sleep, what we basically go in the night, that also we can actually manage. Conquer means manage. It's not that we will not go to sleep at all. Our acharyas, if you see, Srila Prabhupada used to sleep very less. Bhaktivinoda Thakur used to sleep only for 2 hours, like that. As I say, like Rupa Goswami, Sanatan Goswami, they hardly used to sleep. Haridas Thakur used to sleep very hard, 23 hours used to chant. So this is like by spiritual culture, one can actually control the sleep. But again, in household life, it's very challenging. I'm saying this is, but I'm talking about the like advanced devotee. But again, we can go to that place. We can go reach that stage if we practice nicely our spiritual culture. By tolerance only can one conquer desires and avarice. Again, so these are very good instruction. Actually, I think like we should actually make a note of this and every day meditate on one line. Even this just one line, what Prabhupada is saying, just one line and just meditate and then and see whether we can actually implement in our life or not. Disturbances from various diseases can be avoided by regulated diets. Only prasadam. Like we are not vegetarians. Srila Prabhupada said that we are prasadians. We are not vegetarians. We should only eat what is offered to Krishna. We should not really eat here and there like or even vegetarian food. We should not claim that we are vegetarians. Srila Prabhupada said we are prasadians. We are only eat prasad, which is only eat what is offered to Krishna. That is regulated diet. We will offer to Krishna the best variety of bhoga, and then we just only take that one. By self-control, one can be free from false hopes, and money can be saved by avoiding undesirable association. Now, if you have money, Prabhupada says that you can save that money very easily if you give up bad association. Bad association means people who are behind women's, behind stock market, behind different kind of businesses and all those kind of things. So they basically drag your money. People are basically unnecessarily become so much greedy because they associate with those kind of people who talks about like that. So bad association actually can be cause of your drainage of money. By practice of yoga, one can control hunger, and worldliness can be avoided by culturing the knowledge of impermanence. Dizziness can be conquered by rising up, and false arguments can be conquered by factual ascertainment. So these are a lot of points. I think I should move on. Talkativeness can be avoided by gravity and silence, and by prowess one can avoid fearfulness. Perfect knowledge can be obtained by self-cultivation, and one must be free from lust, avarice, anger, dreaming, etc. to actually attain path of salvation. You can all discuss it. Time is a little late, so I'll finish this. As far as women class are concerned, they are accepted as power of inspiration for women. So, Nari Shakti, like in a Vedic scripture, the woman is considered as a power, energy of the man. It's not that like women are weak; they are the energy of the Lord, and there is the energy of the person. Like if wife is the energy of the husband, that's why he's called Bedra or Ardhangni, because she is the like a power to the family. Like husband have like half power and wife has half power. So that's like here Prabhupada says they are accepted as power of inspiration for men. As such, women are more powerful than men. Mighty Julius Caesar was controlled by Cleopatra. Such powerful women are controlled by shyness. So there is one quality that Prabhupada mentioned for the women's lajja or shyness. This is the most important quality for a woman. Here Prabhupada just here like if you see like Prabhupada didn't give much detail, but here she has shyness and then shyness is basically, I think more than me, some Mataji can explain what shyness mean here, what Prabhupada is saying here. But shyness is a main quality or main characteristic. If woman is shy, then that is the ornament for woman. Therefore, shyness is important for women. Once this control wall is loosened, this is a controlled wall, right? This is shyness. You have to practice. It needs a lot of control to actually have this shyness. Woman can create havoc in society by adultery. Adultery means production of unwanted children, known as Varna Sankara, who disturb the world. The last item taught by Bhishma Dev was the process of pleasing the Lord. This is Bhagavad Dharma. Dharma tu sakshat Bhagavad Pranitam. The Bhagavad Dharma, this if you see other dharmas, Nari Dharma, this Raj Dharma and Dharma for Varna Ashramas and all, they're all given by sages. But Bhagavad Dharma is directly given by Krishna. Dharma tu sakshat Bhagavad Pranitam. The last item which Bhishma Dev is repeating is given directly by Krishna. Bhishma Deva saying process of pleasing the Lord. We are all eternal servants of the Lord, and when we forget this essential part of our nature, we are put into a material condition of life. This is the main cause of our suffering in the material world. The simple process of pleasing the Lord for the householder, especially. In the bracket, Srila Prabhupada say that because Prabhupada knows that in society, in today's in Kali Yuga, there is more householder than brahmachari and sannyasi. So this is main instruction for, especially for householder, is to install a deity of the Lord at home. Deity can be like metal, wood, or like brass or whatever, and then a picture, whatever. But make a small like a room in your house, and then worship the Lord. By concentrating on the deity, one may progressively go on with daily routine work. Worshipping the deity at home, serving the devotees, hearing the Srimad Bhagavatam, residing in the holy place and chanting the holy name of the Lord are all inexpensive items by which one can please the Lord. There are 5 top. There are 64 angas of bhakti, the 64 types of like 64 limbs of bhakti. Out of that, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu says 5 are very prominent. Murti Seva, the first one is worshipping the deities, serving the devotees, a devotee association, hearing Srimad Bhagavatam, Bhagavad Shraman, which we are doing right now, residing in a holy place, like going Mathura, Vrindavan, or if you go to a temple, local temple, or if your home is a temple, if in your home you have a temple where you are worshipping the Lord, your home become a temple. So like residing in a holy place and chanting the holy name of the Lord, chanting Hare Krishna mantra, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram. Srila Prabhupada said these are all inexpensive. What cost we have to give actually? For worshipping the deity, Krishna says, Patram Pushpam Phalam Toyam. Very easy to worship the deity. Patram Pushpam Phalam Toyam. A tulsi leaf, everyone can grow a tulsi plant in their house and offer tulsi leaf to Krishna. A flower, if you have a garden back of your house, or go to any store, you got a flower, you can offer a flower. If not, get some fruits, any fruit available. All over the universe, the fruits are available, right? Fruits or water. If water, you can just offer me water. So it's very easy to serve. And serving the devotees means pleasing. Pleasing the devotees means getting their association, serving them physically, serving them like materially. If you have money, you can give it to a donation to the devotees and all, or hearing from them, serving them, hearing Srimad Bhagavatam. Hearing doesn't cost anything except your time. Except our time that we have to spend, and residing in a holy place. Somewhere we have to live. So in a holy place, there are many ashramas are there, and then they can, if somebody want to live, they can live, or in their house, that's fine. And chanting the holy name of the Lord, they're all inexpensive method. Thus the subject matter was explained by grandfather to his grandchildren. These are all types of dharma that are very detailed, like Bhishma Deva explained. So Prabhupada give like lot of instruction for us. And I think if we can if we can try to practice some of them, and then our life will become successful. Okay, so let me stop here. Time is a little late now. Anyone have any question or comments or realizations they want to share? I know it's a lot of instructions today. If you like any particular instruction, or you want to see, like you want to implement in your life, or you have like already practicing, or your experience you want to share. Yes, Archana Bhakti Mataji.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji. Really many points, many relevant points for Grihasthas. And the point that I liked, or that touched me, was that whatever we have, everything right from birth, whatever we are receiving, it is all Krishna's. And whatever we have today, it's all Krishna's. And if we don't offer anything to Krishna, then we are thieves. I thank you for that, Prabhuji.
Thank you, Mataji. Thank you for sharing.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna Prabhu, this is Vindhyavali.
Yes,
My humble obeisances.
Yes,
I like that the way Archana Mataji was telling that everything is Krishna's. So we think that this is mine, and now I am giving charity, I am giving this. That is not, and nothing is ours. It's all, everything is Krishna's. That's one point. Another one is, like you said, there's such women are more powerful than men. That's what Radharani shows too. She's the energy of Krishna. And my Julius Caesar, Julius Caesar was what, we think that English people are such Indian devotion like that, but he was controlled by Cleopatra. And another serious thing I want to mention is such women, powerful women are controlled by shyness. That is the main thing.
That is more important.
I felt, shyness is a jewelry for a woman.
Mate, can you explain shyness? Because I didn't know much about that. What
shyness means, I don't know how to shy, I don't know how to express that.
Between masculine and feminine should be.
So shy, she not that like a man, she's talking like that, and even appearance, and then talking, everything is, she is different from a man. And she has to have, that is a very good jewelry for a woman, wearing clothes and talking and the way she behaves, everything it shows in women is special in that. So nowadays it's lack of that. The more they show that, the way showing the body or something, like that in our culture I'm talking about. So that's very good jewelry for a woman. And that is what I don't know how to express the shyness. Sharam hoti hai na, asa. That is the thing. In Hindi we say that sharmili hai, sharam dikha ke. So I felt that one is a very, very powerful thing. And in our Indian culture, it's very much necessary. But we are losing that also in other cultures, we are using that.
Saram also.
That's very beautiful thing for a woman.
Hare Krishna.
So that's all I want to say, Prabhu. Thank you very much for this class. And then a lot of points you covered in this, and it's very, very nice. And the Rajadharma and Sri Dharma, what is that? Dana Dharmas,
Moksha Dharma,
other things. Those are all very good. Thank you very much. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Ramcharan Prabhu. Please my obeisances. All goes to Srila Prabhupada. Yes, I'd like to say also thank you for giving such another, again, wonderful class, very informative. I just wanted to say that Srimati Radharani has a shyness. And that shyness is based upon her ability to not want to stand out, not to brag, not to be boastful, not to be seen so much or recognized. And I want to preface that her shyness is spiritual. It is unlike anything we see in the material world. Many women, I guess also including myself, speak too much, or there are some women who need to be seen that they are doing something, that they are a controller, that they are the source. And we know that Ishvara is the controller. And since Radharani and Krishna are always together, they both control in their own special ways. But this shyness that Srimati Radharani has is not material. Therefore, it is not Indian, because it is not based on a landmass or a material culture of any kind, African, European, or anything else. Krishna has always been and will always be. Therefore, he's not relegated to anything that we consider our culture. And a man who has good behaviors with a wife is affected by her good qualities. Anything that he has that is negative without her is based on another person's leading or his own. There's a saying that every great man has a good woman behind him. When that changes or his behaviors change, then he is affected by something else. So I wanted to preface this aspect of shyness, the definition of it. It is a spiritual quality which we strive to acquire, but it is not like anything material or Indian or someone's culture, African, European, Indian, Asian, German, whatever. It's not that at all. Thank you, Hare Krishna.
Thank you, Mother. Thank you for sharing. Anyone, any other devotee would like to share anything?
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna,
Very
Mataji.
nice. Very nice class. I just want to say, as I forgot the name. Just Mataji said that all the good qualities of shyness of ladies. So I was thinking that the ladies are very humble. They go through a lot, they raise their kids, and they don't show that what they do. They do a lot, but they are humble, always humble, and they are happy in that, and not bragging about. So the humility is their great quality, and I think shyness is humility. And I liked all those points that we should go through all the instructions. Like first, to get freedom from anger, one should learn how to forgive. But I have one question about this instruction. One of the instructions, by tolerance only can one conquer desires and avarice. So sometimes we are tolerant, sometimes we are not that tolerant. So how to become more tolerant to conquer the desires? Because desires are more powerful than our ability to tolerate. How to become more tolerant to overcome the desires?
Yeah, so my stand is, Mataji, like it's natural for all of us to have a desire, because we are living beings, we are spirit souls, and we have desires. But right now, because we are misidentifying ourselves with the body, we are under this material body, so our desires are diverted to our body now. So we are all thinking like how to manage this body, how to be happy in this body, and all those kind of things. And when something happened to this body, we feel that somebody is taking away something. Like say somebody is hitting this body, we think that, oh, is hitting to me. When somebody is like stealing the money, which is basically earned by this body, we think that it belongs to me, like that. So because this misidentification is there, that this body is me, and we are, all our desires are diverted towards this body. So what's happened is, like, we become like violent, because fear of losing is there, and that's why we basically cannot tolerate those kind of things, and we want to fulfill that desire. But actually, Prabhupada says that all we have to do is change our desire. Change our desire means now we are trying to serve our own senses. But if we start change this thing, like rather than serving our own senses, if we start serving this Krishna senses, because we belong to Krishna, we are part and parcel of Krishna, we are servant of Krishna, and the bhakti is like serving Krishna by our senses. So if we start serving Krishna and not owning anything, right? So whatever happens, then we basically become more humble, because the problem is we basically like become proudy and all, because we think that we are something. If we take a position of a servant, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu says that Naham Vipro Nacharanapati Napi Vaishyana Shudro Naham Vanichara Garapati No Manastu Atirma. We are basically servant of the servant of the servant of Krishna. Gopi Bhartur Padikamalino Dasa Dasanadas. So we are actually servant of Krishna. So if we take the position of a servant, then automatically we'll give up the pride, and then we'll start basically working for Krishna, And then we can practice this humility. And when we practice humility, then we should basically start tolerating this practice. This, like, rather, if we think that we are big, we are this powerful, we have this is me, this is mine, all those kind of things, which basically increase our pride. And that's why, because we are not able to tolerate when something actually hit that part. But if we basically become humble in that way, basically like thinking that we are servant of Krishna, we are part and parcel of Krishna, we are only for Krishna. So that way we basically do not own anything on our own, and we become humble, then we automatically start tolerating those stuff.
Okay, thank you very much. You explained very nicely. Thank you, I understood.
Sure,
Krishna.
Yeah, the time we think that we are something, see today, like you think that, oh, I am this, I am so and so, I am a manager, I am a father, I am a mother, I am this, I am that. The time you start identifying yourself with some designation, you start basically having problem, because the thing is, we have to give up all this designation. Sarvopadi vinirmuktam tatparitena nirmalam rishikena shikesha sevanam bhakti ruchyate. That is a bhakti is, we have to give up all this designation, because we are not this designation, we are not this body, we are not this mother, father, we are none of that. We are all spirit soul. We are all servant of Krishna. So if we understand that fact, then it's become very easy to cultivate that quality. Otherwise, very difficult. Materially, like artificially, we cannot do that. We can pretend, but that will not go for long.
Yes. Thank you.
All right. So, anyone else have anything before we end? All right. So, thank you very much all for joining today morning for the Srimad Bhagavatam. So, have a wonderful Krishna conscious day. Hare Krishna, everyone.
Hare Krishna. Oh, thank you very much. Vancha kalpatarupyasya
Hare Krishna.
Krishna Kaivalya Prabhu. Hare Krishna. Thank you very much, Prabhu.
Hare Krishna Mataji.
So Radhe is not here, so she said thank you very much.
Sure, thank you.
Hare Krishna to everybody.
Hare Krishna, Prabhu.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.